Feuillien Tripel.
And remember, life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. This is one from the Feuillien Brewery, and it is their triple. Now if you looked at my other videos, you know I've got a problem with this word. I have a mental block trying to pronounce it. But I've written it down phonetically and looked at it and drummed it into my head. It's pronounced Feuillien. I think Feuillien. It's French. For fuck's sake, what the French? Why do they do this? Why have they made a language that no fucker can understand apart from the French? I don't know. Anyway, this is a triple, and it's no ordinary triple apparently. It's been reputed to be one of the best in the world. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. If you ever look on Rate Beer, to be honest, I'm really not a fan of Rate Beer, but when this claim was made, I looked on Rate Beer and I saw the league table for triples, and top of the shop was Triple Carmelite, which is really nice. I've reviewed that on the channel. It's one of the best. It is really a nice triple in my opinion. But this was at number 30, so you know you can argue that, but with the caveat that there was American brewers. This is why I'm not a fan of Rate Beer, is because it's dominated by American drinkers, and they will upvote their local brewers or American craft brewers over the originals. Now, yeah, is it conceivable that somebody would brew a better triple than a Belgian brewery? Yes, of course it is. However, is it conceivable that a craft brewer that's been around for 10 years will brew a better triple than a Belgian brewer who's been around since 1873? Well, it's all a matter of taste, I know, but you've got to remember a lot of these Americans haven't tasted the real thing. They just don't get it down there. It's not their fault. I'm not knocking them. They just don't get it in America. It's because this isn't widely available, so they have to rely on their own brewers brewing this style of beer, and they get it in their head that this is the style of beer without tasting the original. Now, it's a very sweeping statement, I know, but when you taste the real thing, it's like with German beer too. When you taste the real thing and you taste the imitations, you think, yeah, they're okay, I can see what they're doing, but they're not as good as the original. So there you go. So that's why I'm not a fan of Rate Beer. So let me just get that out there. This is reputed to be one of the best triples out there, so that would be interesting. I'm just thinking I should really do a shootout between the Triple Carmelite and this, depending on what this is like, because I'd like to not put that rumour to bed, but you know, if Triple Carmelite is going to be the best and this is going to be touted as being the best, then I want to see for myself which is the best. Anyway, I'm going way off topic here. This brewery has been around since 1873, as I've just told you, and they do quite a good range of beers. Now, if you look at my other videos I've recently done around Christmas, I did their Christmas beer, and that was an outstanding beer. It really was a good one, and on the strength of that I vowed that I would buy more beer from Feuillien if I could fucking pronounce it properly, but I never got around to it until now. That was at Christmas. This is now March. I've had to order this online. Marks and Spencer's have been rumoured to be stocking this stuff. If they have, I'm going to definitely check that out. I had one of their blondes, Feuillien Blonde, the other night. I ordered a load of beers from, I think it was Beer Sniffers, and for some reason I ordered two. I keep doing this. This must be an old age thing. But I ordered two and I tried it, and I remember it being very nice. However, I'd had a lot of beer before that, so I didn't really have the beer tasting head on. So when I reviewed that, I'll give you my opinion on the blonde. However, tonight it's the triple, so let's see what this is all about. This is a 330ml bottle. It is a triple, as they say. Now, they're saying Anno 1125 on the bottle. Yeah, whatever. But this is an 8.5% beer. It is a beer that is bottle conditioned, as is standard in Belgian beers. And it looks like it's quite a good one. Now, it's got all the I'm looking at the ingredients on the back, and it's all in French. I'm going to try and... Yeah, it contains barley malt. Oh, that's the only thing they're telling me. It contains barley malt. Right, so there's really not a lot to go on. They're from a place called Leroux, which is in the Wallonian part of Belgium, the French-speaking part, as if you didn't know from the name. But, yeah, that's all there really is to it. 330ml bottle, 8.5%. Let's get it home. Let's see what's going on. Right, I've just tried another 8.5 or 8% beer called La Barba, which was a specialty honey beer from Belgium. That was really nice. I did enjoy that. There's the cap. Saint Feuillien. Fucking, I had a mental block with that. Oh, I did a really stupid thing. Let me tell you a quick story of my stupidity. Is this going to fizz up? No, it's not. A quick story of my stupidity. I've got another Steenberg chalice, which is my favourite, but I'd had a few last night, and I put washing powder, Persil, or was it Ariel, one of the two, in the dishwasher, and the dishwasher stopped. The legendary dishwasher stopped because of something. I don't know what it was, and yeah, it was when I opened it up and I thought, that smells like clean clothes. I just, fucking hell. My missus, and of course, blokes, if you're married and you want to blame someone, blame the missus. She put the washing capsules, they're like these Ariel capsules, next to the dishwasher, and of course, me being a twat, picked it up. She got the blame though, and all was well. But suffice to say, that's back in the dishwasher now because it stinks of clean clothes. So I've had to use this Leffer chalice. So you'll have to pardon it. I was talking to someone last night about Leffer and how fucking bad it is. It really is pony. So I would avoid that if I was you. They seem to have, and someone else mentioned it to me as well about COVID, how the quality of beer has dropped, and I'm sure it's going to have an effect. I wouldn't say for years to come, but certainly for the next couple of years, COVID will have an effect on beer. I'm just looking at that. I don't know whether that glass is nucleated or not. I'm imagining it is, because that is going for it. Can you see all that carbonation? And that's why I prefer the Steenberg chalice. God, I sound like a right boring bastard now. Yes, and that's why I prefer that. Well, that smells nice. It's actually quite hoppy. It's like a real nice banana and clove that you would expect from the triple, but I don't know if it's my imagination, but I can smell like spicy and earthy hops from there. Quite nice, but look at that fucking head. This glass, I think, is nucleated, and if you're not sure what nucleated glass is, it's where they make little grooves in the bottom of the glass to promote the carbon dioxide to keep the head. Now, they originally did this in Carlsberg glasses and Budweiser glasses because the beer's so shit that they felt a need to do that. But yeah, I don't know whether that's just because the beer is so lively or whether yeah, I'm going to assume that this is nucleated. Anyway, let's get it down the hatch. Bottoms up. Oh. Yeah, that is flavour intense. Wow. And that is hop bitterness. I'm getting a lovely, almost minty style flavour from this. If you can imagine garden mint, that's what I'm getting. And it's really nice. And that there must be they don't give you a brew sheet on the website, but I'm sure there must be some type of hop that has got strong mint characteristics that's gone into this, and it's really shining through. Now, yeah, there is the banana, there is the clove in there, but there is that hop character, which is, I wouldn't say it's unusual in a triple, but you don't normally find it. Normally it's dominated by the yeast, by the banana and the clove, but yeah, this isn't bad. Spicy, and this is how I remember the triple Carmelite as well, so I can see why there's this is really interesting. Now, it's 8.5%, and I think there is a little bit of ethanol going on in that as well. And it's bottle conditioned, so it's pretty hefty. Now, I finally managed to get all the yeast in there. So I'm just wondering whether I was tasting this without the yeast in there. If that's the case, and you know, I've made this comparison with wheat beer as well, how important it is to get the residue, the suspended yeast into the glass, because it doesn't have to give it a different flavour. But without that suspended yeast, I was getting a lot of mint character, a lot of hop character, a lot of floral notes, and I'm imagining this now is going to be a completely different tasting beer. Let me just give it a go. And it is definitely, that's definitely a different tasting beer. Before was really interesting. It was big on the mint, big on the hop character. It was a clear colour. Now it's got the suspended yeast in. It's much more rounded. It's much more balanced, and the spices are there. That mint flavour is still there. It's not as big, and this really is a tale of two beers. Now, I probably wouldn't have got that if I'd have put it into this one here. This is going back in the, if I can get the bloody thing out, this is going back in the dishwasher, because it smells like one of my t-shirts at the moment, because Captain Twat put a fucking Persil tablet in the dishwasher. But that's really interesting. And if you want to do this experiment, I would say don't put it in a nucleated glass. Well, you can do for best results, but just pour it in. Don't disturb the sediment, and take a sip, and you'll get a really, I wouldn't say harsh, but very spiky, strong flavoured, complex beer. When you pour the rest of it in the bottle with the suspended yeast, it balances everything out. It's much more rounded, and both tasted good. Now that's unusual, because I've done that with Weiss beer before, and you get not a very nice Weiss beer, and it's the yeast that makes Weiss beer. I've always said that, and to a certain extent it's the key ingredient in a Belgian beer as well, certainly in a triple. Yeah, it's lovely. It's much more banana and clove. Them spices aren't as harsh. The hop character isn't as big. The mint flavour, there's just a trace of it. Maybe if I hadn't have tasted that, I probably wouldn't have noticed it. Now that I've tasted it, I can see that it's in there. So it's one of them flavours that is so easily missed. But yeah, that's what it was reminding me of, like garden mint. If you've ever, I remember when I was a kid, my mum had mint in the garden. She told me it was mint and you can eat it straight off. Probably full of fly shit and bird shit and whatever, but took a leaf off of it and yeah, it was really nice, really strong. And she used to put it in soups and stuff like that. Really good. But I was definitely getting that flavour in there. And that's, I wouldn't say it's blown me away, but yeah, it's always a good idea. But I wouldn't say it's a good idea to drink beer without the suspended yeast in. And you know, certain British beers, they say not to pour that in there. I always do. But definitely with wheat beers and with Belgian beers, certainly bottle conditioned Belgian beers, get the yeast in there, because it really is a tale of two beers if you don't. But that's not bad. It's really nice. It's full of flavour, banana, clove, spice, coriander definitely, white pepper, mint, nice mouthfeel, very full bodied. Is it the best triple in the world? I don't know. I'd need to do a shootout with the triple Carmelite. They're both good. The Castile triple, not bad. I'm trying to think of other triples. The St Bernardus triple, that was really good as well. It's, you know, it's one of them ones where you really need to have them all lined up. So I'm not going to say it's the best in the world, but that is definitely not the worst in the world. I'll tell you that now. So what's the verdict on Saint Feuillien Tripel? Yeah, really good. I really like that. It's one of these beers where you really need to get the whole lot in the glass in one go to get the full balance. But if you don't, and you just pour a little bit out, and you don't get that yeast in there, the beer takes on a whole new character. And you can get flavours that you won't get when the yeast goes in there. And that's exactly what's happened there. And that was a real eye-opener. And that's pure accident. That wasn't by design. If I'd have had this glass here, which is non-nucleated, I would have been able to get it all in. Where this is nucleated, the head was just too big, so I had to leave it. I couldn't give it a swirl round. So yeah, very interesting indeed. I really like it, and I can see why some people would say this is one of the best in the world. I'm going to reserve judgment on that. I don't think it's the best. I'm not going to say it's the best until I try it with other triples. But I'll tell you something, this is not bad at all. It's full of flavour. It's got everything you expect. The ethanol isn't big on this, so if you're not a fan of that spirit alcohol, which you do find in a lot of triples, you're going to like this. This is quite well balanced once you get all the yeast in there, and no complaints at all. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, but I really think I should do a shootout between some of the best triples that are being touted as the best triples. Now, whether I can get hold of some of these American ones that they put on rate beer or not, and as I said, I really don't rate beer. You know, anyone can put fucking anything on there, and you look at some of the descriptions and yeah, you just think, what the fuck have you been drinking? But yeah, this does need to be put up against, certainly against triple Carmelite, so maybe that's one for the future. But as far as that goes, that's really nice. I'm really enjoying it. 9 out of 10, definitely recommended. Also the Christmas beer, that's another good one from them. But yeah, that's 9 out of 10. And remember, beer is working class champagne.